Yesterday, we did some notes, right? We talked about basic geometry vocabulary, right? You got some papers back you can fix. I'll get you more soon. But, looking up here, you see what needs to be turned in. And then you got one, you're getting one today, okay? Today we're talking about notation, okay? Notating the basic geometry vocab. First thing we wanted to do is talk about, see if you could draw these three figures. They're similar, but a little bit different, right? So, how do I draw a line? How's it going to be different on the end of a line? What will it look like? Little arrowheads, right? So a line goes forever, and I show it's a line with two arrowheads, no endpoints, okay? Then a line segment, what about that one? The segment does have endpoints, no arrowheads, right? So a line segment looks like this, basically. And then what about a ray? Okay, one of each, right? One endpoint, and it goes one direction with an arrowhead. And remember, we're continuing to do swirl, so we're writing. You should be able to write the differences between those figures. And it's all about the end behavior, right? Either it ends or it goes on forever. In which direction, one way or two way, okay? So make sure you have that written down. Also notice we're gonna have a quiz on Friday. Friday. So we got mini notes today. There's one for okay, let's do this.
Oh.
All right, focus up here. What we need to do is name 3 points at the top, okay? What's up? And A, B, C would be an example of 3 points that are on here. Now, y'all know what points are from our notes yesterday? They're represented by dots, capital letters. It could be A, B, C, or it could be any other 3 points on here. So I'm going to pick D, A, B. All right? Thank you. Y'all are my good class. Y'all laugh at my jokes sometimes. All right, now, what does collinear mean? Co is sharing. Linear has line in it. So 3 points that are sharing the same line. They're on the same line. What 3 points are on the same line? ABC for sure is in a straight line. That's the only 3 points, right? Like ABE would not work. Cool? Now rays. You might think that there's no rays here. Okay? But they're like within the lines. Okay? So you just got to pick an endpoint and go one direction. So do this one with me, okay? Imagine you start at point B and you go towards E. That is technically a ray that's part of a line, okay? So if I start at B and I go towards E, the way I would notate that ray is like this. B, E, but what do I have to put on top if it's a ray? A ray. A line going with one arrowhead to the right, okay? Let me reemphasize that it must be pointing to the right, and your first letter has to be the endpoint that you start at, okay? So let me show you another one. What if we started at C and went towards letter D? Now here's my question. Would you name this ray DC or CD? Okay, I'm hearing correct answers. CD. Now, I'm telling you, people do this wrong all the time because you think left to right, which I understand, right? But you got to write the endpoint first and then the second point, and it's always pointing right, okay? I see people put the arrow pointing left there, but notation is always to the right, okay? What about a segment? So segments kind of like the rays, are just on the line somewhere. So just pick any 2 points that are on the same line. Which one? Just 2 points. A, B? Okay, so between A and B is a segment, if I can draw right. So yeah, AB is a segment. But everyone hear me. You cannot just write 2 letters. You got to put something on top of it. So if it's a segment, you're going to do this. I mean, not diagonally like that. Let me try again. I mean, just put a segment on top of it so you know it's a segment. Okay? What are another set of 2 points that make a segment? DC and BC. Yes. So DC, BC. Those are good examples of a segment because they are parts of a line between 2 endpoints. That's good. Now, down here, we're going to do more notation. Okay? And then we'll be done. So, this first blank, there is no picture, but it does tell us that it is a segment. What do we know about a segment? Does it have arrowheads? One? None? No arrowheads, right? And if it tells you the 2 letters, you're going to write those 2 letters, QR. And then, since it's a segment, what goes on top? A segment with no arrowheads. Okay? What is this next shape with 2 arrowheads on it? What do you call this shape with 2 arrowheads? A line. Okay? And if it's a line, one second. Got another one? All right. So again, the thing that's going through W and Z, because it has arrowheads, is a line. We call it a line. So what I'm going to put is those 2 letters, WZ, and on top of it, I got to put a line with 2 arrowheads. It has to match the shape we're talking about. Cannot make this look nice with the whatever. All right. All right, what's this called with 1 arrowhead? It is a ray. Which letter should I start with? The endpoint is Z, so yes, I'm going to put ZC, and it always points to the right if it's a ray. This is the most common missed type of problem, so I'm showing you again. If it looks like it's pointing left, the notation is still going to be pointing right, okay? Yes. H and K, what is this with 2 endpoints? It is a segment, a line segment. So you're going to put the 2 points, the endpoints, with a segment on top, okay? And last one, it tells you what it is. It is a line. So you got D and E. And since it's a line, you got to put a line on top. Now the bottom part is like the top part, except this is a DIY problem. I want you to make your own problem. Name 1, 2, or 3 points, segments, rays, whatever. Okay, make your own question, answer your own question, and then I got an assignment for you based on notation. It's 1-sided, should be short and sweet, and you can just turn it in when you're done. Sound good?